Cura. This is Sam, and this video is all about VMware vCenter administration. So this video will include starting from lab 5 to lab 7. So give an overview starting from lab 5. Lab 5 is all about using VMware vSphere web client. Objectives of this is to show the use of web client navigation and further customization. Client plugin is important as it gives access to console of VM and other infrastructure sources. Lab 6 is all about configuring VMware single sign-on, and the objectives would be it manages identity, resources, and default domains. Upon installation, every SSO instance has identity resource domain, which is internally located to SSL. It means like all the instances and all the resources will be connected to a single sign-on. It would be a central position from that will be managed. Lab 7 will be creating folders in VMware single sign-on. It includes use of the folder is to manage the objects internally. The folders can be created like host folder or storage folder, network folder. And the main the main motto behind creating the folder is it's like moving your host, your data center to these folders, managing them in the right way. So this is the overview what we are going to do. So let's now quickly jump over to the server. So this is my pre-installed vSphere web client. So what I'm doing here is I'm closing it and restarting once more. You might face some delays in opening of it, so bear with it. Sorry. I've opened the vSphere web client and it gets connected. Before I go ahead and open this web client, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to install the prerequisite, what we say is the client integration plugin, which is pretty much important. So I've downloaded the file here. So before I open the web client, I'm installing the plugin. The older version is still installed. I'm removing it and installing the new version. Okay, since the package has been installed now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the web client here. So I would be logging in with the administrator. Just to give an overview about the lab 5, that is VMware vSphere web client. So this is the web client which we have opened now. So the process of configuring and installing this web client is, I'll quickly show you. So we have mapped the ISO on the drive here, and when we open this file, it gives a console which gives 4 options, which gives a vCenter single sign-on, web client, inventory services, and vCenter server. vCenter server has been installed and configured earlier. So VMware vSphere client, this is the client which we'll be installing later on, and it will create an icon on the desktop. The difference between VMware vSphere client and web client is web client it connects through one of the browser, and this connects through an application. once the web client has been installed and configured, the next step which comes is configuring the VMware vCenter single sign-on. Now, what is the meaning behind a single sign-on? Single sign-on is considered to be a one platform of login. Now, for example, we have multiple platforms, multiple applications to log in with different passwords. Now, what we are doing here is we would create a one single platform wherein all these applications will be integrated with a one single login. So first, the hassle for creating multiple passwords, maintaining those passwords reduces. So you log in onto those applications from a one single platform with a one single password. So that is the motive behind for single sign-on. So for single sign-on, what we are going to do is we are going to vCenter, then we go to administration. Under administration, we go to single sign-on. Under single sign-on, we have users groups and configurations. Coming to the users and group. Under user and group, what I have done is it's already done. I have added administrator under admin group, from where we will be controlling all the users and the groups. If you click on users, we are going to select the domain, where I have selected server as server2 was my domain, under which I have added administrator. Other domain, we have the default as a vSphere local, under which I have included the user called Sumanta, that's me, with limited rights. Coming to the configuration part acts as an Active Directory users and computers management, wherein you can put in password policies, what kind of password policy a user can put in there, lockout policy, how many times if a user puts a wrong password, and how many times a user is trying to log in with his account and it gets locked out. Token policy. Okay. Coming to token policy, what do you mean by token policy? Token policy is basically, it's called RSA token, that is called a VPN token. Usually the VPN is connected through certificate and through tokens. Nowadays they log in with the certificates, the soft certificates, so they are considered to be tokens. So token policy is being set on vSphere web client also, because there are certain applications, or I would say there are certain certificates which can be implemented with the vSphere and can be logged in from offshore locations. So this is the work of the token policy. Now coming to the identity sources. Identity sources shows what is your domain and what kind of a server is attached, and certificates, which includes the license and the certificates if we have any. So this is the single sign-on user group and configuration. Coming to the third one, which says the creating folders in the VMware vCenter. What I'm doing here is I'm going to the home. I go to host and clusters under VMware vCenter. Now coming to the last lab, that is lab 7, which says creating folders in VMware vCenter server. Now this shows the inventory under my vCenter server. The inventory list shows we have vCenter server 1, we have one we have one object under vCenter server, that is server2.net701.com, that is one of my domains. Going back, coming to the data centers, we have two data centers. One is data center which was created default, and second which I created NMID GCA. That is one of the default data center. Going to the host, we have not created any host. Clusters, we have one cluster in place, that is NMIT1. Now under NMIT1 cluster we will have multiple hosts, we can create multiple domains there. Now going back, if we go to host and clusters, now here I have already created folders by the name of training. So what we can do is, if I select data center 1, which was created by default, I created lab server 1, lab server training folder, training 1 folder, and the training host and clusters folder. So what I have done is I have moved the data center under the folder of training. So if you minimize this, so I have one data center by the name of NMID GCA and the other one which is inside the training folder. So this is the way we can just manage our host and cluster and other sources. That's it. Thanks. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Have a wonderful day.